following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today, look at this. I am on an all-new boat from Boston Whaler, the 210 Montauk. This seems to redefine the Montauk brand for Boston Whaler, as it's been completely redesigned from the hull up. So it's got a whole new running surface, and more importantly, a whole new interior, so it's got more improved seating and storage space. We brought a team on board to do a full walkthrough and sea trial, so let's get right into it.
The Boston Whaler 210 is the flagship of the Montauk line. She has an 8-foot 6-inch beam, draws 15 inches with the engine up, has a maximum weight carrying capacity of 2,800 pounds or 9 people. While the whole Montauk line has been reinvented, their mission is the same as ever: low maintenance, easy handling, durability, and being unsinkable. Boston Whaler has been building boats long enough to know that every one of its customers will use the boat differently. That's why it offers a basic boat with lots of optional gear available, so every owner can personalize the 210 for a specific family's needs. Let's start our inspection on the forward casting deck. The 210 Montauk's bow is the best example of the boat's convertibility. The casting deck is 73 inches at its widest and 46 inches fore and aft. The boat is offered with a choice of bow rail heights. Ours had the higher version, which is 13 inches above the 5 3/4 inch wide cap rail. When it's time for play, a cushion fills in the bow for sunning or sitting. Integrated cup holders are in each forward corner. Optional backrests quickly slip into place to create chaise lounge style seating. With the backrest removed, there are 2 rod holders, a pair of beverage holders, and speakers in each rear corner of the bow. Forward, the bow cleat is positioned horizontally, just behind the nav light that has an integrated chock for dock or anchor lines. Bow storage is in the anchor locker and fish box, both of which are insulated. Each hatch opens with a gas strut and closes on a rubber gasket with a twist and pull latch. On the front of the console, our test boat had the optional backrest and bench seat on top of a 94-quart removable cooler. Bungee cords and custom brackets hold the cooler securely in place. Boston Whaler offers the 210 Montauk with a couple of options to provide protection from the elements, including a fiberglass hardtop or the canvas T-top on our test boat. Notice the sturdy powder-coated structure. It's equipped with a courtesy light and rocket launcher-style rod holders on the trailing edge. A hatch in the starboard side of the console is ventilated, opens with a latch, and magnetic catch holds it in position. There's storage on the inside of the hatch. The entryway is 16 inches wide, and inside the console there's 4 feet 4 inches of headroom with 3 feet 4 inches of seated headroom above the Dometic pump-out toilet. Moving to the 210 Montauk's helm, above the dash is a high, effective acrylic windscreen. The compass is properly positioned ahead of the steering wheel on top of the soft-touch panel. In the vertical section ahead of the wheel is a 9-inch Raymarine multifunction display. To starboard, a carbon fiber effects panel houses a multifunction gauge and tachometer. Rocker switch is light when activated, and there are circuit breakers below. A Fusion stereo is beneath the gauges, and there are connectivity and 12-volt power plugs to port. To starboard are the binnacle controls, dual cup holders, and the VHF radio. I would move the VHF microphone higher on the dash so it can't accidentally be hit by someone's knee. The ignition is to port of the wheel, and the emergency shutoff switch is in a good location for securing to the driver. Down low in the console, there's an angled footrest for seated passengers and an area for the captain to place his feet when traveling while standing. On our test boat, the helm seat was 36 inches wide by 20 inches deep, and its base was raised 27 inches off the deck. The backrest is convertible. Outboard on each side are rod holders. The bottom cushion raises on hinges to reveal the live well. Boston Whaler offers a variety of leaning posts, including ones with a cooler in the base or a live well. The 30-gallon live well option is aerated and equipped with a light. It has rounded corners and a blue finish. The tool holder on the back of the leaning post is a good idea, but we'd move it to the stern so there aren't sharp tools or hooks near people sitting on a seat. Outboard on each side of the cockpit are sturdy bow rails with rod holders incorporated into them. Just aft to port is a swim platform with a 4-step boarding ladder. The rail and ladder comply with American Boat and Yacht Council standards. Aft on each side of the cockpit are non-skid casting platforms that measure 21.5 inches fore and aft by 22.5 inches wide. Each platform is hinged and equipped with a lift and lock latch. Pick it up and there's a padded seat and backrest in each of the stern quarter. An optional cockpit table is also available. The bottom cushion for each aft seat is removable, and underneath them are the batteries. Outboard of the starboard battery is the system switch. Forward of the outboard motor in the deep splash well, we see the Sea Star steering at the front and the freshwater engine flush, which is also a welcome feature. The fuel fill is in an excellent location to trap any accidental spills. Under the plastic gasketed hatch is access to the bilge pump. Now let's look at the 210 Montauk out on the water. She measures 21 feet 4 inches long with an 8 foot 6 inch beam, and the hull draws 15 inches. Empty weight is listed at 2,650 pounds. With 3 people, 29.9 gallons of fuel and test equipment on board, we had an estimated test weight of 3,930 pounds. With the 150 Mercury 4-stroke outboard spinning a stainless steel 14.7 by 16 3-bladed inertia propeller and wound up to 5750 RPM, we hit a top speed of 40.1 miles per hour. Best cruise came in at 3,500 RPM, where we saw 22.3 miles per hour and a fuel burn of 5.4 gallons per hour. That translated to 4.2 miles per gallon and a range of 249 statute miles, while holding a 10% reserve of the boat's 66.5 gallon fuel capacity in reserve. In acceleration tests, the 210 Montauk planed in 3.6 seconds, ran through 20 miles per hour in 7.8 seconds, and 30 came and went in 11.4. During our sea trial, we were running in a 1-foot chop and noticed a slight oscillation when running at higher speeds in a following sea, but by throttling back just slightly, we could run faster into the waves. She has a 16-degree dead rise at the transom, which is typical for inshore boats of this type. The dead rise warps to a fairly sharp entry, so she did not pound in the conditions we encountered. In turns, we trimmed in all the way, backed off a bit on the throttle, and the 210 Montauk held their line through the maneuvers without ventilation. Because the steering wheel takes 5 1/4 turns of the wheel lock to lock, we'd like to see a sprinter knob on the wheel. As is typical, the torque effect of the prop makes harder to turn one way than the other, which is another reason to have the steering knob. Go to Boston's Whaler webpage, look under specs, and you'll see a line that says swamped capacity. That line will not be found on any other builder's website for the simple reason that motorboats over 20 feet do not have to float if swamped. Neither the U.S. Coast Guard nor the ABYC requires any kind of flotation for boats 20 feet and 1 inch length overall or longer, but all Boston whalers float level if swamped, and in the case of the 210 Montauk, it can hold 4,000 pounds of crew and gear and still float level. This kind of peace of mind is what most people want to have when taking their family out on the water. Boston Whaler's 210 Montauk comes standard with a tandem axle galvanized trailer with a swing-away tongue and disc brakes.
So in my opinion, the newly designed hull gives great handling characteristics that we've really come to appreciate from the brand. Inside, there's a whole new comfort level and plenty of storage for everybody that you want to bring aboard, all with an easy transition between fishing and family that takes nothing more than a hose. It all comes together in the 210 Montauk from Boston Whaler, and that is my full features inspection and sea trial. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.